Okay, we got something I'm interested in, but we got Monster Hunter Wilds is a great game with serious problems from RX Gaming. Okay, so throughout all this time, I still been playing Monster Hunter. It's still there. Um, real quick, come on, Steam, open up library. What do I got? I got 400 hours in there. All right, so what's going on? I got some shit to say. He got some shit to say.
Hey guys, it's Paradise, and I want to have an honest chat about Monster Hunter Wilds. Because right now the conversations around the game are getting interesting and sparking debates amongst the community, with overwhelmingly negative reviews on Steam, complaints about the performance, endgame burnout, etc.
Yep,
The truth
yep,
is a
yep.
bit more nuanced. The core of Monster Hunter is enjoyable, it just has problems. A lot of these issues were even called out in our initial review for Wilds, with the performance, the streamlining, and the endgame being major issues for the community. So
Yeah.
today we're going to talk about exactly what's working, what's not, and the state of the game. So let's get into it. We'll start with the foundation. The combat of Monster Hunter Wilds is really fun. The combat feels really satisfying.
The combat is fun. The combat is satisfying. It's the easiest Monster Hunter game to date. If someone is coming to me, like a friend or whatever, and they're asking me, oh, I'm kind of interested in Monster Hunter. Should I get in on this like new one or something? I would, and they've never had like any interaction with like any like Souls-like game or like game where you fight like a boss for a prolonged amount of time. I would tell them, yes, this is probably the best time to get in on these types of games. Like you got like one little dude, one weapon versus like a boss with like I don't know 15 to 20-ish unique moves more or less. Yeah, this is like one of the best versions of this type of style of gameplay that we could ask for.
The monsters look mostly pretty good, and the moment-to-moment gameplay once you're squared up to a monster is solid. For the most part, if you boot up the game, slap on a weapon and armor set, and go out hunting, it can be a good time, and that should have.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because a lot of the times in other games that aren't Monster Hunter, if you want to try like to change up your gameplay, you gotta like use your current weapon, go out, try to find another weapon or whatever the fuck. And like with Monster Hunter, it's like a seamless like change from like what do we got? 14 weapons in here. If you want to just start using like a new weapon, you just build it and then you just put it on and you're like, okay, this is my weapon. You just go like use it. You can just start it and you can try all the weapons like instantaneously. Like every weapon is viable. Okay, yeah, there's like tier lists and shit, but at the end of the day, who cares about that? Um, like the barrier to entry for each weapon is so low, and when you play a different weapon, you get a brand new experience. Because me and my other buddy, who's also got like 400 plus hours in here, he what was he playing? He was playing Charge Blade, he's playing Switch Axe, playing Gunlance. Um, what else was he playing? Those are like his main three favorite ones, whatever. And then, and this is funny, since Title Update 2, it has caused him to start playing and dabbling into SNS, like regular SNS. And he's like, oh, wow, I know you've been playing SNS for a while, Cornel, and you've been hyping the shit out of this weapon for a while, but I had no idea. He's like, I didn't know it was like this. Oh man. And I was like, yeah, I've been playing like this the whole time. You know, with perfect block, slide slash, with all little combos and shit. All your combo trees, like your moving chops, your standing chops, shield bash, perfect rush, all that stuff. And he's like, wow, this feels great. I am so happy I got to try this out. Like, even at 400 hours, you just switch weapons and get a brand new experience. That is awesome.
Be forgotten. but it's everything around this core of hunting which is where the cracks really start to show. And it's a real shame because at the same time they could all be issues that get fixed with enough attention from the developers. This is why feedback and community insights are so important for games and
why it's important specifically for Monster Hunter. Well, I mean, I could say that for like a lot of games, but specifically Monster Hunter. I remember not playing the demo, but I was just like watching the videos and everything. People that played like both versions of the demo, both builds or whatever, all I heard was everyone was talking about the game feels too fast. There's no hit stun or whatever that thing is called. Whenever like you get like a big like true charge slash from a greatsword, like the third charge up level, and it like pauses for a quick sec, like for like impact frames. Everyone's bitch moan complaining that a lot of the weapons lacked that. And so what ended up happening is they started to add more and more hit stop frames to all the weapons. Arguably, adding more hit stop makes the game it nerfs the player because it's like it pauses, it puts a pause on the player. It doesn't do anything to the monster, but it's just it holds there for like an extra fraction of a second, and it slows the player down. But it feels better. Okay, so they listened and they're like, oh, you guys like this? Okay, well, we took it out because we thought you didn't like this, but we're just going to add it back in because enough of you were starting to like chirp up, and it's like, okay, we'll put it back in. So that's a direct example of them listening to the feedback and like actually doing something that the community wanted.
Wilds is a perfect example. First and foremost, let's talk about performance. This has been one of the biggest complaints since launch, and for
yeah, this is like, yeah, this is dog shit, dude. I don't care if it's a brand new engine. I don't care. Oh, it's the RE engine. It wasn't meant for the big world stuff. It's only meant for like little tiny areas like Resident Evil or whatever the engine was initially made for. And they're making all of these things from scratch, and it's not like an optimized engine. Okay, I don't care any about that. I don't care about the details. No other aspect of my life is like I don't logic it like that. All I look at is the final product. Is the final product good or bad? All right. Because what was the engine that they used for Monster Hunter World? It was I forgot the name of the engine, but it was a different engine, even though it looks like similar graphics wise. Like that engine was built for like that, you know, the big sandboxes of like ancient forest, the desert, the snow place, the lava place, whatever. All right. RE engine is not meant for this. So with that in mind, they have to do a little more refining with the engine. And it's taken, how long has the game been out? Like what, 5 months? How long has the game been in development? Even like years?
Good reason. The game still runs poorly for a lot of players, even though it's been nearly a year since our initial first time playing at the gameplay reveal back in Gamescom of 2024, where we made these performance issues known through videos. Even now, there's stuttering, frame drops, and inconsistent performance that is holding back what should be an otherwise good experience.
Yeah. And it's the same way in Monster Hunter as in FPSs. When you start to add more frames to your game, the game looks smoother and you can react more quickly and consistently. So it's kind of a gameplay thing. It's not kind of, it is a gameplay thing. Your game running more smoothly with more frames is just an overall better experience. Much the same way with FPSs. Why do you think the trend in FPS competitive, it's like all, you know, the standard is more or less like 500, 600, 700 refresh rate monitors and all this other shit? It's because it matters. When I'm over here fighting like Arch-Tempered Uduna or Gormagala, all right, these motherfuckers are like jerking around all like speedy, and it's like, next slide please, I go to the next slide. They like reposition themselves like 5 monster lengths away, and I'm like, oh, I was about to swing. Let me put my weapon away real quick, and then they did a big old like charge attack on me, like Legiacris or whatever with its double charge. Get the hell out.
Also think the fact that much of the game doesn't look as visually spectacular as you would expect for something with these kind of performance issues doesn't help with the perception of the game. Now, the devs have commented on performance and do strive to improve it with each title update, but it has been a point of contention that doesn't...
This is off topic. I don't know why you guys run with the decimals. All right? It adds visual clutter to the game, and I would argue it doesn't change your decision making. All right? Do away with the decimals. All right? It's less visual clutter. And again, it doesn't change your decision making, whether you did 49.9 damage or just 40 or 49. Okay? I get it if you want to leave it on for like testing. I mean, that's fine, whatever. But like, if you actually like the decimals because it makes the number look bigger, what are you doing?
Seem to have been addressed with the same urgency.
Oh, did you see that? $1,828.
As say the weapon.
Oh, $1,093.
Balancing patch.
Oh yeah, 160, 1,604, 879, 306.
Which added sweeping changes, buffs, and nerfs, even entirely new moves to weapons.
I like how they actually like tweak the numbers a little bit with the buffs and nerfs. That's fine. With like in the case of Hammer, I mean, I still haven't really like messed around with Hammer since Title Update 2. But yeah, if there's underperforming weapons, yeah, fix it. I mean, shit, for the most part, Elemental is still not even like really a thing because of all the monsters have like shitty elemental hit zones, but it's whatever. We'll see what happens when either G/Master Rank comes out. And yeah, to tweak the numbers. But then again, my next question would be, what are you guys using or doing? Like, what's your method to figure out what to buff and nerf? Are you guys just going off of like speed runs? Are you guys just going off like content creators, like influencers, the general vibes of the community? I mean, maybe to some degree, yeah. But let's like, well, hopefully at least some of the devs are like playing the game a little bit.
They did such a good job with these weapon balance changes and patches that it's honestly disappointing that the performance feels more like an afterthought. But we can see the devs are putting in a lot of work, just maybe in the wrong places. Credit is deserved where it's due, as Capcom were very fast and thorough in adjusting the weapon's damage and balance issues. The level of responsiveness to community feedback on that front was great to see, and it shows they really do care about the community. But why hasn't that same energy been applied to the performance? Because that is what is stopping a lot of people from even wanting to play.
Yeah, and I have no idea. This is all from like the PC perspective. I have no idea how the performance is on console. But how many console people are we hearing like chirping up about performance or anything versus, I mean, at least in America, like none of the console companies have anything like visually public as far as like reviews go. All right. But I think I see like on Xbox, it's like I'll see like a star system of like 1 through 5 star, and then it can go in the halves. But that's like whatever. I mean, that if I look at Steam, I could see everybody's review, how much time they have in the game, the overall general consensus of what everybody thinks about the game. Yeah, that's great. I can't see that with consoles. So how are we basing our changes off of? Is it just consoles? Is it just PC?
You've got the endgame, which has seen a major overhaul to past titles, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah. The endgame is the what is it? The Ardian things with the little parts and shit. It's like meh. if you do it like how you're supposed to do it, it's just like it feels like a shitty slot machine. But then again, that's like a lot of end games for Monster Hunter at like the end game, so it's like that's how it was. It still doesn't feel good.
One hand, the streamlining of things is fantastic. You get guaranteed gem drops through investigations, which is a massive quality of life improvement. You can fast travel, auto path, there's better UI, smoother systems, and it all makes the game easier to just jump in and play and have fun.
And everybody's version or opinion about what the end game is going to be subjective. All right. In my 400 hours, I have had to move. What I have found out is that I had to move the goalpost of like what the end game for me is. Because initially it started out being, oh, what's the end game? Okay, I forgot what HR. You had to be like 70 to start farming like the end tier Ardians, because you don't even like the red pieces, because you don't even use like the shitty was it the blue ones or the gray ones? Like nobody, I would venture to say, no one has actually made one of those weapons. Like, because you have like the 3 tiers, right? You got like the gray ones, the blue ones, and then the red ones. I would probably bet no one has actually made a single one or the other of either of those categories of weapons. You only like try to farm for the red ones. All right, so there's a fuck up right there. But what ended up happening is that, you know, they had a little save scum issue with the rolling pools for the Ardians. Like you could kind of scout ahead more or less and see all the rolls that you were gonna get on an Ardian. And then once you got to the right one, you're writing all this shit down. It's like, okay, the 5th one, I'll get like the perfect roll. And then, so like you don't save it, and then you scout out, and then you just quit the game, and then you go, you start the game back up again, and then you go to the 5th one, and then you juice the 5th one, and it's like, okay, that's the one I keep. All right, that's like the save scum method of doing it. But if you were to just do it like actually like really how you're supposed to do it, and to try to get like a perfect one, I mean shit, that shit's gonna take like exponentially long time, dude. Like, are you kidding me? I think somebody did the math and it was like thousands. It was gonna take like thousands of tries to get like a perfect one. I forgot exactly. Maybe I'm making it up, but it was like an exponentially, not linear, exponentially like more long time to get like a more or less like, let's say like a 4 out of 5 like good roll or something. And that's on the last tier, not the middle or the starter tier of the Ardians that no one has interacted with. But I did the Ardian thing. Okay, got that. And then I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Well, there's always like the large crown, small crown thing, but I don't really give a shit about that, because it's like whatever. Even if it is an achievement, who gives a shit? Oh, there's titles. So what I decided to do is like try to go for the 50 titles on all the monsters. I was like, oh, okay, that can extend your gameplay like by a lot, and then try to get the 50 titles. So then it's like, oh, there's not layered weapons out right now. Well, maybe they'll come out with layered weapons eventually. So I took the initiative and made all the weapons for my favorite weapons. Okay, so I made all the final weapons. Okay, let me make all the charms. Make all the final versions, most upgraded versions of all the charms that I can. Okay, great. Did that. I'm still getting all these 50 titles. I'm swimming in materials, right? Okay, let me make all the beta versions of all the armors. Or like all the male beta versions of all the armors. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Let's do all the female versions of all the betas of all the armors. Okay, let's do that. So I did that. Okay, fuck it. Let's just make all the high rank armors. You know, like the alphas, betas for like a chunk of armor, and then, or the alpha male female, and then the beta male female, and let's do all that. So on high rank, I have every armor Like there's a little chest symbol on every box. I don't really value like getting all the low ones, because I mean, if I'm like a super crazy person, I'll do that. But like for the sake of completion, but I don't really feel the need to or want to. Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much been like my end game. Just more or less collecting all the things. Like there's a ton of weapons I still don't like. I haven't even like gotten like all the rows on, because I just simply don't give a shit about some of them, even though they're cool. Oh yeah, and then the Palico gear. Yeah, just make all the Palico gear. Fuck it, all the high rank Palico gear. Yeah, just make it all. Who gives a shit? Just go for it. Oh, went into sleep mode. But yeah, that's been like my end game.
The same time, this
understandably, that is a increasingly small percentage I have been or percentile I have been forcing myself into. But it's not forced, but it's like I wanted to do it. I would say most people just beat the game, roll credits, and call it a day. Maybe you'll go into like the next level of like beat the game, go to high rank, and like maybe make like a perfect guardian, dabble around a bit, and then just fuck off. All right, that's probably like the next most common after you roll credits and get out of there.
Streamlining has come with a cost of long-term depth. The grind is shorter, and the challenge curve flattens out faster because you don't need to work as hard to get your best gear anymore. Now, this is really good for some, but for others it removes a key part of the satisfaction of the gameplay loop. It feels like the game is over just as you're getting into your groove in the endgame. But now we do have to be fair and remember this is a base game Monster Hunter title.
Yep.
If you've played past Monster Hunter games, and I know many of you have, then you...
I played... my first Monster Hunter game was World, and then Iceborne, and then Rise, and then Sunbreak, and then here. That's how it went for me. I didn't play any of that old shit.
know that the real grind and challenge tends to come with the first major expansion, which is traditionally known as G rank or Master rank. So it's not surprising that Wilds doesn't have that long-lasting pull just yet after you finish the story and sort out your armor sets. The problem is, many players are now expecting that G rank depth up front, and without it, they bounce off after a few dozen hours of grinding their sets and weapons.
That is okay if the developers are okay with it. All right, hear me out. What was the main, like the Final Fantasy developer, whenever he was like making expansions and talking about the game, there was like an interview he did, and maybe it's like a convention or something, where he's like standing on stage or whatever, where he was like, guys, it's okay to stop playing the game. And everybody, once they heard that, they were like, oh, what? The developer's okay with you not playing the game? We can beat the game to our own subjective completion and then just go play other stuff and then come back whenever we want? That's unheard of. But if the developer wants you to continuously play the game and then you start chirping up and complaining that there's like nothing to do because you're like playing the game every day and just consuming the content all the time, and then your main complaint is there's not enough content or it's not hard enough, then there's an issue.
So some of this is likely due to player expectations not being in line with what a base game version of Monster Hunter actually is, while at the same time, Capcom should by now be aware of this and have designed the game in some fashion to manage this expectation. So in some way, I think both...
Like, where's my damn house? Where's my house? I had a house in World. What, you're just going to take it away? And in this game, I don't even remember if you had a house in Rise, Sunbreak that you could like completely customize and deck out with like you collect all the monster parts, because essentially that's all you're doing. You collect all the monster parts and you make furniture and shit. Or you catch all the animals and like stick them in there. Right? Where's my damn house? Why are you guys cutting my arm off and only giving me back like one finger at a time. And then once I have my whole arm, you're like, yeah, we gave you your arm back. It's like, no, you shouldn't have took it away from me in the first place.
Parties are kind of at fault here. We also need to talk about difficulty, as this is another point of concern for many, and it's an interesting topic. There's a real point
difficulty and monster design
to be made about difficulty in relation to your first Monster Hunter game and then subsequent ones. For example, in your first Monster Hunter game, it will always have been a harder, more challenging, and more rewarding experience because of that.
Yeah.
Learning the flow of the core Monster Hunter gameplay loop, getting your butt kicked, learning from that and improving, getting good at a weapon until you're comfortable to hunt with it, is a real part of what Monster Hunter is about.
Yeah.
But once you've done this in a past title, follow-up Monster Hunter games will not have that same experience because the core gameplay is still there. With the
even, and this is very true for even the polarizing sides of the weapons, where you have like your fast little tiny weapons like dual blade, SNS, whatever, and your like big, heavy, slow, chunky weapons like the great sword or like a hammer. The game is designed, and I think the devs even come out and said this. The game is designed so that even the slowest of weapons, greatsword, can even complete kill all the monsters. All right. So if you feel that your weapon is like not like up to par with like going up against a monster, you need to like sit back, rethink your mental strategy, and just be like, is it the game's fault or is it my fault? Have I been playing the game wrong? Or, I mean, honestly, the argument can go both ways. Because like if let's say you're going up against like the new guys like Lagiacrus and Sir Reggie, Laggy Reggie, Larry Steve. Me listening to my buddy, a bitch moan complain about he's trying out Charge Blade, he's trying out Switch Axe, he's trying out Gunlance on Laggy and Reggie. He says it feels like dog shit because you get like hit so much and your window of punish is like so small. And I'm even trying to tell him don't be greedy, and he's not greedy. He still says it feels like dog shit. And I guess he had enough of it, and that's what made him switch to SNS. He came to the light side. So I don't know. It feels like there's probably an intended way for the like developers like how they want you to play, but sometimes that doesn't always happen whenever you release like a monster out into the wild, and it's like, oh, okay, all the weapons, go get them. Like there's going to be some sort of emergent gameplay that happens in like a meta forms. But sometimes the moves that players want to do, they can't always do. So let's take the case of Greatsword. When you're playing Greatsword, it's like super satisfying to hit that big, fat, chunky like TCS. And it's like, oh, I live for that shit, that big old red line. It's like, bang, right? It's like, oh, dopamine. 3K, 4K, bop. If I look at like some speed runs, even speed runs for like some of these new monsters, and I see some Greatsword shit, I am seeing like none, if not like very few like TCSs like going off. And if a player is conditioned to like have a certain style of gameplay where they get like the most TCSs off, and it's like, that's my favorite move, I love doing it, right? And all of a sudden they can't do it, there's going to be some friction. There's going to be some words, all right, that get exchanged. There's going to be some yelling. There's going to be some headphone throwing and all that shit.
For weapons that you're used to. So I always try to bear this in mind when judging a new Monster Hunter game's difficulty. But with that being said, right now it feels like the endgame approach to difficulty is pretty one-noted. They seem to just increase the monster's health pool and increase their damage output, and maybe give them one new move or mechanic. It does.
That's probably a whole nother conversation. more or less. Like that, those are valid, and he's not wrong when he said any of that. But what I have seen, at least with the arch tempered apexes, the trend is to add projectiles to the move, or versus like the regular high rank ones, add even more projectiles. So AT Raidal, you got the little thunder bops. AT Uduna, you got the waves and stuff, right? So I would probably predict more projectiles for Squidward coming up, and also Jin Dahad. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, throw ice everywhere? I mean, whatever. Or like the Squid Bro. What's he gonna do? Throw fireballs everywhere? More fireballs? Oh. Um. So more projectiles, and adding more projectiles actually counters like shields, because a lot of the times your shield weapons want to like get that perfect block in and then just get a like a counter like instantly, right? I find that really hard to do on like all the ATs. Like I'd probably have to really like lab a monster out to like figure out like a tighter window if I want to like get a counter attack in or something. But that's just like whatever. Like your conventional like your conventional way to like for defense is like, I guess since a monster attacks and there's projectiles, I guess they want you to dodge. But like, what are the weapons that have like the best dodges? Well, a bow and dual blade, right? Because they got like a good chunk of iframes in there. Like, yeah, you can add in like evade extender and what's the one where you like increase the iframes or whatever? Yeah, great, whatever. So yes, you can like counter the monsters, and there are skills that do that, but did you say increase the speed of some of these moves? Because okay, I think you did. Maybe not. Well, let me hear again.
Monsters' health pool and increase their damage output, and maybe give them one new move or mechanic.
Okay, so health damage, one new mechanic, maybe one new move. I'd probably say they increase the speed to some of these moves. They add projectiles to some of these moves. So what is that? 6. What else? At least for me playing SNS, I think I have noticed, if you block an attack, you are stuck in hit stun more. And then also adding like multiple hits to an attack, like because you know how like some weapons like they'll do like one hit, but it'll like the numbers will pop up like like that. I think they have kind of added that to like certain monster moves. I don't think you would notice this if you're you're just dodging as your main form of defense. You more readily know this if you are what do you call it, like blocking, because you will block and then you will just like you'll just get hit by like multiple things, and then you look at your stamina bar and it just goes like all the way down, and then it's like all your stamina is gone and you're at least half health. So that's pretty big. What else? There's like other shit. Having what I actually hated in Rise was, or not Rise, but like Sunbreak, was the amount of moves where the monster had an entire body hitbox. They've kind of done away with that, I think. Because if you conventionally think, if a monster is like, let's say it does like a haymaker, like Uduna, like, all right, you would think that like only the arm is going to have a hitbox, right? If I put that move in Sunbreak, there are 100% monsters where their whole body is a hitbox. All right, and that not only does not feel intuitive, it just feels like dog shit to play as, and then you end up questioning, well, where and when can I land a hit? Because it would seem that no move has like a whole body hitbox. So I think they have been like toned that back a little bit, but that's like another form of difficulty that they have had in Sunbreak. All right, felt like shit, whatever. Um, I mean, yeah, the projectiles. Look at the projectiles for Mizu, like the bubbles everywhere. All right, but I'm just like ranting.
Doesn't feel like there's enough creativity in how the monsters are evolving over time. Yes, arc-tempered monsters do exist and they do get a few new moves, but it doesn't feel like enough. It's not
Yeah.
pushing players to actually change their strategy. I think the arc-tempered monsters' new moves should have been the difficulty of the game as a standard at launch, especially since
Ooh. Oh, that would have been. That's a good question. That is a good question. I would probably mostly agree. I'd probably also say that like some things feel like super shit to play against. Well, I don't know, maybe. It's like a coulda, woulda, shoulda, hindsight Henry type of deal. Um I mean AT Raid Owl, I mean like I'd probably mostly agree with him.
they are apex monsters anyway. Then the arc-tempered versions should have massively dialed them up with even more new mechanics and moves to keep you on your toes. For example, think about Zoshia once they finally added a farmable version into the game. It brought
Yeah, Zoe should have been in there from day one. All this like cope about, oh, look at Zoshia for title, was it 1 update? It's like, no, motherfucker, that shit should have been in there from day one.
a fresh experience with unique movesets, mechanics, and a reason to relearn how to hunt to tackle that specific monster. We need more of that, but applied across the board with the same level of rewarding weapons and armor. For example, I believe the stats were
I think that's like a core design concept, because a core design concept issue, because, or philosophy or whatever. Like if you see like a Rathian, you like kind of already know like what he's gonna do. All right, he's gonna do like a little bite. He's gonna do like a jump up in the air, do a tail whip, maybe do another tail whip. He's gonna curl his head to his tail and then do like a 360 tail whip. And then he might like charge a couple times. All right, like there's a couple other moves, but like that's mostly what he's gonna do. If you take, I don't know what the devs want to do about it. Like, I think it'd be fine to like cut half of like the iconic moves and just try to make other iconic moves, if that's even possible. To have like low rank Rathian with like this set of moves, and then high rank Rathian with that set of moves, and then master rank Rathian with this set of moves. I mean, yes, that's a lot more work that the devs have to do, but I mean, and it also adds freshness to the game. I mean, would the devs be willing to do that? I highly doubt that. Because like, why would you want to make 3 versions of a monster? Or like maybe not even like 3 entirely different like versions of it. Like let's say you keep like low rank is like 100% of the monster, and then they cut like a third of the moves off, and like they make a new third and add that on. Then they cut like another third off and like add that new third on. It's like, I mean,
around 50% of players that failed on their first Zoshia attempt, versus 80% of players that didn't fail on their first attempt at the newly introduced endgame arc-tempered monsters.
Oh, dang.
So you can see there's a stark difference in the difficulty.
Bro, these motherfuckers coming back and playing for like A2 Uthuna, they are all so bad. I have to run wide mushroom, and they are still dying, getting one-shotted by the aerial belly flop because they're not fast enough to flashbang this dude out of the air. It's killing me.
When you compare these different approaches. Now, we do have new content that's constantly rolling out in the title update road.
2 spread out. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like this title update 2, but it's going to be over a month. Yeah, get the heck out of here, dude. Like, bro. Who the hell came up with this content over a month bullshit? What a fucking load of bullshit. No. Title update 2. 1 day. This is the day it all starts. You get a lump The one lump sum of content. And then you're going to eat that for however long. And then the next title update too, you get one lump of content. And then you're going to play that for like a couple weeks or whatever. All right. What is this spread out like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks to get something new and then come back and we're kind of going to let you get away from the game. But like, we want you to still kind of play the game. Like, what is that? Huh?
Map. And while some of it is promising, it's a bit too spread out to keep people constantly engaged.
Like, name me another game that has this kind of retarded content spread outness. Name another game.
Hop in, try the new Arc-Tempered monster, or attend the festival, and then that's kind of it. You're done in a day or two. There's no reason to check in daily or weekly, so a tighter cadence of content drops would go a long way here and keep people engaged and happy with the content of the game. One recent highlight has absolutely been the returning monsters though, such as Lagiacrus, an amazing addition.
Yes, but that's the highlight of every new installment of every Monster Hunter is the new monsters and the new armors and the new weapons. That's how it's always been.
We loved it, and it's
no one is going, oh, remember that title update 3 for like Monster Hunter World when they came out with that cool looking summer festival whatever doodad for the hub? No one's doing that.
Probably the most excited I've been with Wilds since the actual launch of the game. But again, that excitement only lasts so long, especially when it's a monster that many of us have fought before, and consider that the higher star versions and tempered versions are random occurrences on your map. It's not exactly the best flow for updates, where you need to rest spam to get a brand new monster to—
Oh my god, don't even get me started on the rest spamming. Holy shit. Bro, these mid-ass armors from Laggy and Reggie coming out and being just as powerful, if not more, than like the endgame armors. But yet on like the color scheme of armors, they're about the same as like, what is it, like the purples or the blues or whatever. They're not even like in the orange chunk at the bottom. And 3 out of the 5 armors you're required to get a gem on. All right, and then on top of it, where it's like, if you look at like the endgame armors, like the Arc Vels and the Gores or whatever, it's like maybe I'd have to go in the game, but like it's, was it like 1 or 2 pieces of armor need a gem? But these ones that color scheme wise, they fall like above the endgame ones, need more gems, requiring you to rest spam for one of these monsters that get a guaranteed gem. Because the like just facing these monsters alone, the gems are already the hardest ones to get. All right, they just are. But then you're going to require like more pieces of armor to require the gem, forcing you to like rest spam, because that's like the meta, right? I mean, not everybody's like doing it. Some people are like doing it like casually and like, I mean, because that's what I did. I'll kind of rest spam, but not really. I'm not like making it my job to rest spam. I'll do it like 2 or 3 times. It's like if I get nothing, it's like, oh, whatever. I'll just do this regular ass one, which is what I think most people that are still playing the game do. But it just feels like bad. Like you get punished for rest spamming. But I mean, I didn't do it before. So it's like they are making the game harder for everybody still playing that is not in that 1%, top 1% of players that are rest spamming. All right? So it's like, why does all this armor need a damn gem? This is stupid.
Appear in different versions. Capcom could just easily add in more event quests when an update drops for a new monster, or additional optional quests with the other versions of that monster alongside the easy story one. I also think it would be better if returning monsters were paired with brand new Wilds exclusive monsters to keep that sense of wonder going.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
You would get a mix of nostalgia and a brand new surprise that would really get people logging back in. Imagine having Laggy added into the game alongside something completely different. We do have to give credit where it is due though, as some areas in the game
or Wild Shines, side content, and combat
are really well done. Some of the new skills that were brought in are fun and thoughtfully designed,
Yeah,
shaking up builds in interesting ways, and you can see the
yeah.
team put a lot of effort into them. Some of the side content is also genuinely
Oh yeah. I mean, the bowling is just like a little casual, fun, whatever thing. It's nice. It's like, oh, bowling.
fantastic. Stuff like the barrel bowling minigame or the diva performances are
Yeah, something like this to give you items. It's just, I think it's better than like the slot machine that was in World, which was like that Steamworks thing where you just slam coal and it's just like you hold a button down so it like auto rolls everything for you, and eventually you'll just get everything. You'll hit like a jackpot and just gun it. It's like like this is I think a good way to extend like game time, because all you're doing is getting like extra items. I mean, you could argue that by doing this, you are preventing the player from like going out and doing actual gathering in the world. But I think this is like a good middle ground, because like the polar opposite would be like something like Steamworks from World or Iceborne.
surprisingly charming. There's real personality and care put into them, and if that same level of polish was put into the endgame or performance issues, then we'd be looking at a very different reception right now. So where does this leave us? Well, Monster Hunter Wilds is a good game, it really is.
Yeah.
Hunting monsters is fun, the weapons feel great, and the content that is there is enjoyable, and the vision that they're trying.
One complaint I heard from one of my buddies that I think he only put in like 3 or 4 hours in the game. The first couple hunts, he was complaining that he didn't like the fact that the sacred just automatically takes you to the monster. I was like, you do realize you got a mount in World and Rise? And then he's like, yeah, but this one in Wilds, it just, you hop on and it takes you. And then I was like, you're going to let that stop you from like playing the game? And then he's like, yeah. It's like, it feels like meaningless. I was like, okay.
For is clear, but it still has major issues, and the community response has made that obvious. Performance must be fixed. The endgame needs more creativity and depth, and the cadence of updates needs to be more engaging if Capcom wants to keep players hooked. The foundation is all here. They've proven they can respond to feedback, so it's just a matter of where they go from here. Remember, the future is bright for Monster Hunter fans as a whole, with new title update content dropping. There's even new Monster Hunter games on the horizon with things like Monster Hunter Outlanders that has a lot of people excited.
Oh, what the heck is Outlanders? Is that like another mobile version? I don't care about that.
And we're hopeful that the performance issues will be fixed, especially since Capcom are definitely aware that it needs fixing. So hopefully, given a little more.
I mean, blah 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 blah. I mean, I hope they're aware. This is like 19,000 recents, 161K all. I hope they're aware.
More time, Wilds and the Monster Hunter franchise will be back to where the community wants it to be as a top-tier gaming experience. So let us know in the comments, are you still playing Wilds now? Did you already...
Yeah. I mean, essentially all I do is like, I leave the game installed. If like some new content drops or something, and like some new armors come out, I'm just like, okay, fight the monsters, do the events, and just add all the weapons and armors to the weapons and armor pile. It's fine. I mean, for the most part for me, like the muscle memory is in there for like my favorite weapons. So I can like just quit, go fuck off, and then just come back.
Bounce off, or are you holding out for the big expansion that's got to come at some point in the future?
Bro, the people that don't play right now and are only going to play when the expansion drops, they are going to be so like inundated with content. it's gonna be crazy for them. But I would say it's like a whole new, different experience, essentially, because this is my first time playing like every single like content drop, because I didn't do like when I first played like World. I played like during like the end of it, and then like Iceborne came out, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't get to experience all like the title updates. So like in so doing that, it's probably gonna be like a whole new experience. But the community at large is, I think, at least the main content creators for Wilds, they are aware of the marketing strategy of Capcom at this point. So I don't know. So like how they did that whole return to world thing with that being so successful. I don't know if the whole, because they're going to do it. I don't know how successful Return to Wilds is going to be. I really don't know.
Tell us down below and what you think about all of this. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 2-6.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos.
Oh,
hey guys, it's Paradise.
And focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, I'm here to add all the fluff. Yeah, I've been watching these guys for fucking ever. Like I need a guide. I'm like, just go to Arix. Yeah, a good video, dude. I mean, it has been a time playing Wilds, 100%, dude. It has been a time. Can't say good time, can't say bad time. I mean, it's mostly good, but at least I haven't like ripped out my earbuds this time. Just yeah. Yeah, good video. Keep it up, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Right, later.